This is Hollywood. Matías Bombal with you. At last, the thrilling conclusion to the long-running series of dystopian sci-fi movies comes to a close with The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2 from our friends at LIONSGATE. You may see it in either IMAX or standard presentations. We finally find out what will happen to Katniss Everdeen, as realized on the screen by lovely Miss Jennifer Lawrence. Now, if you think I'll give it away here, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It wouldn't be fair. But I can tell you that the saga continues right where it left off, just like a classic matinee serial of the past, but instead of coming back to the theater each week, the studio has staggered the release of each episode to fully whet your appetite for more. The cast, which photographed both parts of the Mockingjay portion of the series at the same time, includes Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, Woody Harrelson, Julianne Moore, Jeffrey Wright, Stanley Tucci, Elizabeth Banks, and that 1970s screen legend Donald Sutherland as President Snow. I must admit, due to the nature of the original photography being done all at one time for these last two episodes, to see Philip Seymour Hoffman on screen, just as present as the rest of the cast, stands out in an unusual way since he's now been dead for more than a year. The audience watching, the moment he appears on the screen, well, the response is palpable from the audience in the theater. Katniss is on a mission, as she tells one of my favorite performers in the picture, Jenna Malone.
You saw Peter, didn't you? Did you tell him hi for me? We're old friends, you know. We had adjoining cells in the Capitol. We're very familiar with each other's screams.
I'm going to kill Snow. Nothing good is safe while he's alive. And I can't make another speech about it.
Now you're talking.
Director Francis Lawrence then takes us through the final installment of the characters created by Suzanne Collins, in which Katniss tries to form an army from the beleaguered districts that surround the capital to get her man, President Snow. Eager to be at the forefront, not to let anything get in the way of her quest, she gets an unexpected setback as President Alma Coin finds that she and her team are more valuable for national morale as a media figure, as she learns here.
Finnick? Are you with us?
Looks like it.
That's a short honeymoon.
Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna have to have one in the Capitol after we take it.
Gather round. Squad 451, you're my unit. Lieutenant Jackson is my second in command. Each one of you is elite in some form of combat, but we are a non-combat unit, so we'll be following days behind the frontline troops.
You're to be the on-screen faces of the invasion, the Star Squad. It's been decided that you're most effective when seen by the masses.
So we're not gonna fight.
You do whatever you're ordered to do, soldier. It's not your job to ask questions.
Yes, sir.
Even though we'll be working on abandoned streets miles behind the front lines, I guarantee you, wherever they put us, it will not be safe. This is a war zone. It is likely that we'll encounter both active pods and peacekeepers. You're considered high-value targets to the Capitol. Our unit has been given a holo, a database that contains a detailed map of the Capitol and a list of every known pod. These pods can trigger anything from bombs to traps to mutts. Whatever they contain, they are meant to kill you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 76th Hunger Games.
We've seen how Katniss usually lets nothing get in her way in that regard, so she'll not disappoint. I, however, found this to be the most violent of the series, and dark, not only in theme, but in the case of the on-screen image. This was further compounded in my particular advanced screening of the picture, as the auditorium in the multiplex in which it was screened had a very dark image. The xenon projection lamp throwing the DCP, or digital cinema package image, to the screen was way past due in being replaced. I was disappointed further that two of the key performers from earlier in the series, Stanley Tucci and Jeffrey Wright, both remarkable talents of the acting profession, only appear marginally. We'll have no way of knowing if they had greater participation in the first cut that was assembled of the movie, which ran 2 hours and 51 minutes. The version I witnessed for this review has a running time of 2 hours and 17 minutes, and that is what has been released. Odd, too, that in the USA, this is being released as an IMAX experience and in standard screenings, yet internationally it'll be in 3D, the first film in the series in that format, except in the USA. This explains the composition of select shots of cinematographer Joe Williams' camera setups, which seem odd viewed in the standard format, but would likely be impressive in 3D. I did see this with fans of the series who were heard in the lobby following the screening commenting on how some things were different from the book, but overall, they were generally pleased. The last installment brings needed resolution, but did not, for a memorable movie, make. This is your pal Matías Bombal reminding you that this has been given a PG-13 rating. I bid you a fond farewell.